Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on 90s band Creed and through one of these songs of the 1990s, With Arms Wide Open. We looked about how we can keep ourselves open to life's opportunities with whatever has happened in the past. So I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to a bunch of guys that were formed in New York in 1976. Mick Jones and Ian MacDonald, Lou Gramm on vocals, Dennis Elliott, Al Greenwood on keyboards very much has shaped the sound of these guys, Ed Gagliardi on bass. And given these guys were from the US and the UK, it wasn't long before they adopted the name Foreigner. And so that's where we're going today. Between 1977 and 2009, there were 9 studio albums, 7 live albums, 20 compilation albums, 47 singles. And there's been 14 top 20 hits amongst those 47 singles. It's estimated Foreigner have sold around 80 million albums. They've been nominated 3 times for a Grammy Award, and their first 4 albums, because these guys hit the ground running, 5 times platinum, so very successful indeed. These guys are massive tourists. In fact, they were a band that was in the right place at the right time. In fact, in California Jam 2 in 1978, these guys performed to 200,000 people at the same time. So it just goes to show how successful these guys have been. Now, Foreigner is very much arena stadium rock, which is certainly what was happening in the late 1970s, well and truly the 1980s. And these guys have been around all that time. And so, your lineup of drums, bass, guitar, lead vocals and keyboards, plus a couple of other people, is very much the thing for Foreigner. The great thing about this band is that they, when the keyboards were needed, a few more keyboards were needed, they'd be able to play the things really, really well. As I said, keyboard has been very, very much a key part of the Foreigner sound. But these guys are well and truly known for probably more their ballads. Even though these guys can rock big time, it is their ballads that have made these guys really, really successful. We'll get onto one of these songs of the 1980s in a minute, what these guys actually wrote. And so, Lou Gramm, what can we say about him? His vocals are just absolutely amazing. He had the awesome presence as Foreigner's frontman. He had incredible voice, incredible presence. The whole thing just made him such a compelling part of the Foreigner sound. Backed by a pretty incredible band, pelting drums and guitars, but also the beautiful sensitivity that the songs of Foreigner have actually required. In fact, when we get onto sensitivity, one of the songs of the 80s that I'll talk about is I Want to Know What Love Is. When this song came out, and by the way, off the Agent Provocateur album of 1984, this song went to number 1 in the UK, Australia, and the US, amongst other places. So an absolutely massive song for these guys. And how good is Lou's vocals in this particular song? So the song asks a really interesting question. I want to know what love is. There we go. There it is. The lyrics are almost a little bit desperate in this situation because, we want to know what love is. So there's a question. What is it? Is it the kind of romantic, kind of physical, sensual stuff that movies often portray love to be? Well, yeah, it has been that, but when those moments are over, what happens then? Is the fact that there is a relationship between 2 people bigger than that passion? Is it a relationship where we want the best for each other? Is it a relationship where you're hoping the best and you're in each other's life and you become the absolute comfortable presence in each other's life? Love is bigger than us. The epitome of love is patient and it's kind. It doesn't give a record of wrongs and always hopes, also always perseveres. The word always is in there, well and truly. And as human beings, we think we know what love is, and we think, okay, I'm going to, want the best for this person, and we're going to do life together. And certainly when things at the start, you think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be this beautiful partnership and a beautiful thing. But as we've discovered, that doesn't tend to happen for many people around the world. Relationships break up every day. You say, well, love has failed. Hey, it's not love that has failed. This might be a bit of an interesting thing to say here. It's relationships that have failed. Relationships. Oh my goodness. And as we look back in our lives, we think, oh wow, that wasn't what was meant to happen. It was meant to be so much different. And we wonder where love has gone. Love is still there. It's just the relationship has gone. So love is still patient. Love is still kind. Love still hopes and perseveres. It really, really does. It's just that we all kind of think that, but we all have kind of different ways of getting there. And the minute you bring personalities into things, it just becomes a bit of a challenge. Because we're thinking, well, I think life is meant to be this way. And I think, this is the way love's meant to be, but the other person doesn't quite think the same. And so next minute, the relationship is no more. But the other beautiful thing about love, actually, is if we do kind of have this way about us of being open and transparent and kind and all the rest of it, love can take us over into a deeper and more beautiful way. Love becomes less desperate. Love becomes more richer and deeper. Perhaps leaves those early days of unadulterated passion into something deeper and more comfortable. We start to experience that's what love is, the patience and kindness of it. It's where that other person is the most important person in your life. It's above work. It's above everything. It's above money. It's above status. It's above power. It's above everything. The person is the most important person in your life. And because of love, that person thinks the same about you. But do you think that kind of stuff just happens? Well, no. It's the sort of thing that needs work. But why do we want to work at it? Because we want love in our lives. And it really is worth it. It really does make sense that there is this thing bigger than us, guiding us and leading us into its deeper mysteries. Of course, there's other sorts of love. We've got relationship love with a significant other. There's also love for our friends. Well, obviously that's different. It's not passionate and all the rest of it. It's more about just wishing that just doing life with somebody else and knowing that you want the best for them. It's kind of a friendship kind of thing. That's another sort of love. Then we've got love for family. And obviously that's a very challenging situation, particularly in the day and age. And we're thinking, well, I love my family, but wow. So that's a different sort of love again. And who can define what love is in families these days? It's just a bit of a challenge for all of us, but it's still an ideal that we can hope for. So if you are walking through this world and living life and doing the rest of it, the best thing we can do is to keep ourselves open to the possibility of love. Let's not think we've got love all worked out, because we haven't. We really, really haven't. It's going to change us. It's going to challenge us. It's going to delight us. It's going to bring us pleasure. It's going to do all that sort of stuff. But we've got to be open to the fact that we are one. There's one part of love. There's another person or another group of people, or in the case of a significant other, another person that completes the love for the two of you. So let's not be completely self-assured about life. I mean, it's good to be confident to know where we're heading, but you know what? None of us really knows what love is. Not really. There is always more to love than we would think. And so let's always be open, even if you've been together with someone for 50, 60 years. Let's not forget that there's still more to know and more to learn about life. The last thing we want to do is be so closed off that the other person just can't get in there. There's just no way. There's no way of grabbing on. There's no way of living with you because you're so closed off to the concept of change and growth. So let's not get into that type of thing. So if you're in love, you know exactly what. If you're at the start of love, just know how cool and exciting that is. But the aim of love is to deepen. Is to deepen. And you're only going to do that through getting to know the other person, becoming their friend and wanting the best for them. So I think that's what love is. It's a high ideal that we are all on a journey to reach. So I don't know if there's an actual categorical answer to the question. I want to know what love is. I think love is love. Bigger than all of us, but such a compelling thing, and we're so glad it's in our world. Well, on to the clips. And so we do have Cold as Ice. Now, I talked a little bit about being so sure of how life is and that the other person just hasn't got any way of getting in. Very, very much this song. And this is the first song I've probably heard of Foreigners. Cold as Ice from the 1977 album, debut album for Foreigner. And we don't want to be cold as ice. We don't want the other person to feel so out in the cold that there's just no way of getting even remotely close. So let's not get to that particular way of being. And because it's not going to be other persons that are going to be able to say, hey, you're as cold as ice here. It's going to take you to realise that for yourself. But please do it before it's too late. We got that one. That's a live version, by the way. We've also then got Waiting for a Girl Like You. How incredible are the keyboards in this particular song? Again, ballads. This is off the album 4 from 1981. That's a live version. Now, Lou Gramm here, he just starts off in a really reflective, beautiful way, and then gets into the song a little bit later. So we've got Waiting for a Girl Like You, one of those classic Foreigner singles. We then got Urgent. This is a little bit more upbeat for Foreigner from the album, again, the album 4 from 1981. Here we just see the guitars and how good these guys actually are on stage. So that's a live version of that one. And of course, we've got to have I Want to Know What Love Is. The great thing about this particular song is the choir, the New Jersey Mass Choir that was actually part of this particular recording, and just really, really filled out the sound of this song so well. It needed to be a good, well-produced song because of the way the song was. Came off the album Agent Provocateur of 1984, and as I've already said, went to #1 in the UK, US, Australia, plus many other places. Now, we've got the official clip on this one. This very much follows the story of, I suppose, those that came to that iconic day and recorded this song with Lou Gramm and the boys, and just the way that the whole thing came together. Sort of went down in Foreigners' history as a very significant day for these guys. We've also then got a reunion, a 40-year anniversary Foreigner reunion. Now, 40 years is a long time when you think about it. And here we've got a live version of I Want to Know What Love Is. And yes, we have got Lou Gramm back here. And there's a bit of the current lineup plus some lineups of the past all coming back for the 40th anniversary. And when you've got so many people on stage, it's really, really such an iconic performance of this song. How good would it have been to be in the audience for this particular version? So we've got an official version and a live version of I Want to Know What Love Is. So the links to all 5 clips are in the description below. And I've also included my last video from the band Creed. So if you want to recap on that one, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Life Reflections from Music, or you've come back for another one, welcome to everyone. I always put these welcomes at the end because I like to see people getting to the end of videos. So I suppose you've been encouraged by this look at love today. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to get on to Francesca Battistelli. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.